These pumpkin spice sugar cookies are the perfect thing to enhance your fall taste buds this season. Perfect for entertaining, giving away as little gifts, or pure festive enjoyment. These cookies are super fun and easy to make. They are so soft with a super meringue royal icing, and most importantly, so delicious. These are so fun to make by yourself, with friends, with family, and add such a fun activity to all those fall nights. Welcome to my kitchen. Let's get cooking. We're going to start by adding 1 cup of soft butter to a mixing or mixmaster bowl. I like to chunk my butter to help keep it soft and break it down easier. Then we're going to add 1.5 cups of sugar. We are going to cream this until it is nice and light and fluffy. Once that is all creamed and fluffy, we are going to add in 1 egg as well as 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla and half a teaspoon of pumpkin spice extract. This gem of an ingredient adds the perfect subtle kick of pumpkin spice flavoring, which I love. But if you're big on flavors, I would definitely recommend adding more, or you could also add in some actual pumpkin spice. Then in a separate bowl, we're going to add 2 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt, and give it a quick little mix. Then we're going to add it into the butter mixture 1 cup at a time and mixing after each addition. Then what I love about this recipe is it's a no-chill dough, so we can go straight into rolling out the cookies. So I like to break the dough up into about 3 different portions and roll them out one at a time, keeping the others covered while I work. That way they stay nice and soft, and we can start rolling them out on a nice lightly floured surface. And then you don't want to make your cookies too thin, because if you keep them a bit thicker, they're nice and soft. And before I fully press this one down, I'm going to use a knife to cut out a little stem to make another kind of leaf shape. Otherwise, I'm just going to use this one to make a pine cone. It's an upside down heart, but imagination and creativity. Now I really wanted to make Scarecrow cookies this time, but I didn't have that kind of cookie cutter, but I did have a witch. So here I am turning my little witch cookie cutter into a Scarecrow, starting by chopping off the chin, and then I'm just kind of pressing my knife and hitting the dough to keep those edges nice and cute and pretty. And then I'm going to cut her nose off, that sounds awful, and turn it into the hair kind of mimicking what's happening on the other side. I don't know if you can see my vision starting to come to life, but it turns out I promise. Then for me, the hat's just a bit too pointy, so I want to round it off a little bit more. Once you've got your cookies all ready and on a lined baking sheet, we can put it in the oven at 350 and bake them for anywhere between 6 to 11 minutes. I think I ended up doing 8 minutes for all of these cookies. And once they are no longer shining at the top, they are ready. And then we can just let them cool. I actually do this over a few days, so that's all for day 1. So, welcome to day 2. We're going to start by making the royal icing. In a mix master, we're going to add 4 cups of powdered sugar and 4 tablespoons of meringue powder. And then we're going to quickly give that a nice little stir. It's a little bit messy, so if you have the cover, use that. Then, while it's still mixing on low, we're going to add warm water 1 tablespoon at a time. You're going to use about 6 tablespoons just to start bringing it to a royal icing consistency. And while it's still mixing, we're going to add in some pumpkin spice extracts for some extra flavor. About 1 tablespoon. You can add more if you'd like. And then you're going to beat that on high until it looks like this. And I like to take a little bit of it in this thicker form for like piping details and texture details. Just put that to the side. And then I'm going to keep mixing it, and I'm going to add in a lot more water, 1 tablespoon at a time, until it's a consistency like this, a little bit thinner, but enough to like still hold its edges, have a bit of texture. And then once you've got your colors mixed and your icing's ready, you can always add in more water to it to water it down, which is good for like flooding. So this is how I decorate my cookies. Let's start with the leaves. And I know I'm kind of psycho, I like to use toothpicks so I can really like refine and have fine details. And yeah, you can also use like a piping bag, you can use a spoon, you can use a knife, whatever. But for these ones, I like to kind of outline and then fill it in a little bit, corners, and then I want to have kind of an ombre effect like the leaves around me on the table. Put some yellow in the middle and then use a toothpick to make this nice leaf texture and really mix in the colors. I'm doing the same thing over here, but you can see I've watered the icing down a little bit so it's that nice shiny royal icing look. And then I'm adding some pink in because I'm doing a pink and orange like fall theme, because why wouldn't you? You can also add like sprinkles and stuff like that on top as well. And as I said earlier, you can use a piping bag. I don't have those, I use Ziploc bags. And what I'm doing here is I'm adding a piping tip into the bottom of the bag, and I cut a little hole and I'm just sliding it through. It works, trust me. And then to fill it, get a tall glass, flip the top over the edges so it's not gonna like stick to the icing. And then you can scoop it right on in and use it just like a piping bag. This way is so fun and like less messy, and you can get really nice details. So let's use it to decorate the pumpkins. So this is one way to do the pumpkins, just kind of like stripey ways. And if you don't have a piping tip, that's fine too. You can just cut a hole in the bottom of the bag, it works just as well. But the icing does melt in your hands, so just be careful with that. Now this is my favorite way to do the pumpkins. As you can see, I've got a super runny royal icing, so it's going to look nice and smooth, and I'm just covering the whole pumpkin area with that. And then with another smooth royal icing in pink, you can use any color, I'm going to do some stripes across and down, and then I'm going to take another toothpick and just stripe them down, down, up, up, down, however I did that, to make a really cool effect. And then I'm just adding some brown icing on top with gold sprinkles to make it pretty. Ta-da! Oh, so fun. Now the Scarecrow cookies. Do you see the vision? It came to life. So with that runny icing that we just used on the pumpkins, I'm going to put it on the face while it's still wet. I'm just dipping a toothpick into the brown gel food coloring to make the fine like face details, and this part does take so long. You can also wait till it's dry and then like pipe some details on, but I really love the look of doing it this way. It's kind of my signature. And see, there's that runny pink icing, gorgeous. And I'm just going to dab on some little blushy cheeks and use a toothpick to settle it in. Then I kept some of the thicker icing and made it yellow. I'm going to use this to create straw hair. and because it's so thick and like just doing the little strokes with the toothpick, it looks so good and adds texture and it's fun. Then back to a runny icing to fill in the hat. And again, you can pipe this on, you can use a spoon, you can use whatever. I'm just crazy and use toothpicks. Then I actually put that aside and let it dry, so overnight. Then once it's dry, the next day I go back to it. And I'm using that pink again to create a little patch on the straw hat to make like a patched scarecrow-y hat look. And I'm adding some orange in there and I'm going to do like a marble effect. Yeah, because why not? And then just on the edges around the square, I'm going to add little like stitch marks just to really give it like a scarecrow-y effect. Fun. Then I'm adding a ribbon around the hat and a little leaf sprinkle. Now decorating the fall houses, just like gingerbread houses, just like Halloween haunted houses, but make it fall because that's fun. So for this way, I've got the wet icing and same like similar thing to the scarecrows, but I've got the pink icing and I'm just adding little swirl details into the house because why not? Then I'm adding a nice little orange door and I'm going to swirl that around in there for like a marbled orange door effect. And then I'm going to add in some pumpkin sprinkles because who doesn't put pumpkins outside their door? And then while it's still wet, I'm going to add in very carefully some small round fall sprinkles to make them look like fall lights and add extra detail because sprinkles are super fun. Ta-da! This one is so cute. It's actually one of my favorites. Then for this one, I did the base of the house, like the white icing part, the day before, so now it's dry, and then I'm going over it with a piping bag to add like puffy details. This part is so fun. And then I did the same thing over here, did the day before. It's dry now and I'm adding extra details. I'm gonna add some sprinkles for like a cottagey look. And then with a piping bag with no tip, just a super small hole, I'm gonna add some like swirly fun details. I think they're so cute. Then this is a bonus one. This is my little pine cone idea. It doesn't really look like a pine cone, but that's okay. It's fun and it's fall-y and it has sprinkles in the end, so that's all that matters. These are the finished cookies. I think they came out so cute and they are so fun and they are so delicious, and I really hope you enjoy making them as much as I do. Thanks for watching. See you next time.